Hi guys. Okay, so this is Ziki here, hoping that you're all doing very well wherever you are. So I am back again with another video, and this time around I'm going to be sharing with you a part of, just a clip from a discussion that was held by Baba Maponga, where they were talking about Operation Dudula and everything. They highlighted some very interesting aspects in that discussion, which you might go and find on their Facebook page. But I just took something very short that I want us to talk about, where they mentioned that Operation Dudula is actually targeted. They were saying that Operation Dudula is only targeting Zimbabweans, and yet you find that in South Africa there are so many, there are so many nationalities. Now, my question to you, my friends, is Operation Dudula targeted? And if so, why target Zimbabweans only? That is, if it is targeted, okay? So
Somalians. Others of them want to fight against the rest of Africa. And this is what's making the fight difficult, because they're alienating themselves from the rest of the African continent.
I wanted to hold it there for a very good reason. Because you're mentioning now that in South Africa, there is a population of the Ethiopians, there's a population of the Somalis, and the other year, was it a few months ago, when we saw the Somali shops being raided in the locations. So it was, and what I'm noticing is that these wars or these uprisings are very targeted. So particularly the Dudula process does not seem to look at the Nigerian community. It's not looking at the Somali community or the Ethiopian community or the Chinese community. It is specifically being channeled to address the Zimbabwean community. Hence my question, who exactly is the target of the Operation Dudula? And because I want to move to the next point, which will then guide us while you're thinking on that, which will then guide us into what is the reason Dudula wants the Zimbabweans who left the country disgruntled, displaced, and for whatever reason, why does Dudula want these people to come back, and how is that coming back going to pan itself out on the political terrain of Zimbabwe?
Well, like I said, the target was Zimbabwe, all right? And we've seen Operation Dudula targeting itself at Zimbabweans. But like I keep saying, there is no discipline within the movement. It's not as if this movement is being undertaken by the military. It is being undertaken. The Dudula operation is targeted at Zimbabweans. The Americans and the CIA that is behind Dudula have actually pushed Dudula to target Zimbabweans because they want Zimbabweans to go back to Zimbabwe without their jobs. And when they get to Zimbabwe, they want these Zimbabweans then to start uprising and causing protests in Zimbabwe to overthrow their government for regime change. You saw the very same thing. Musi Maimani last week said that there was going to be a stay away in Zimbabwe. I then took my camera, went throughout Zimbabwe and showed that there were no stayaways. These stayaways and protests are what these people in Dudula and the CIA want to do, is to get Zimbabweans, to mobilize Zimbabweans to revolt against their government. And they believe that the Zimbabweans who are in Zimbabwe are not doing it. So they want the Zimbabweans who've got jobs in South Africa to be deported back to Zimbabwe. And then they must then cause this uprising. And you saw the attempt was to use the Home Affairs of South Africa with pressure from Dudula to do this. But now when they wanted the ZEP permits to be cancelled and they wanted people to be deported in December 2001, at the end of December 2001, had people not regularized themselves, Simba Chitando went, challenged them in the courts, and the Home Affairs had to actually stop that operation and then begin to look at deporting these people at the end of the year. And this is still an issue in court. So now Dudula is putting more pressure because Home Affairs failed to deport these Zimbabweans wholesale, failed to deport these Zimbabweans utilizing draconian legislation. And now we understand that the Human Rights Council of South Africa has actually jumped into the fight for ZEB permits and Zimbabwean refugees, who it keeps insisting these people must be seen as refugees. South Africa signed agreements and codes and international codes, international conventions on human rights. They need to adhere to that. And they must stop looking at Zimbabweans as anything other than refugees just because these people are being displaced into South Africa and are able to go back. That doesn't stop them from being refugees who are escaping persecution by sanctions. So Dudula is supposed to do what Home Affairs can't do. Dudula is supposed to remove Zimbabweans by violence if need be, so that they go back to Zimbabwe and rise up against their nation. But what the South Africans don't understand is that their own land issue is going to become a more boiling issue as we go forward. The ANC is not going to accept to be defeated in elections just because of not taking land. They're eventually going to take land. Sanctions will come on South Africa, and the tables will be reversed. And the question is, what will happen to the Dudulas? What will happen to ANC members that have encouraged Dudula to rise? And what will happen with South Africa and its relationship to the rest of Africa, where they've signed an Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement that they want to take advantage of, but they're not allowing free movement of people, goods, and services.
Wow, very interesting. And live with us today here on our channel on this irregular broadcast is Benson Rutendo Matinyarari, who is beaming for us from South Africa. We are discussing Operation Dudula.